Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and right now, right in this very little video right here, we are absolutely chuffed to bits to be previewing Pokkén Tournament. For anyone unaware, Pokkén Tournament is a fighting game centered all around that lovely Pokemon that you all know and love, and it includes all of your favourites. You've got Machamp, you've got Pikachu, you've got Chandelure, the whole kazoo. The basic idea of the game is to KO your opponent before they KO you, much like most fighting games. Where this game differs, however, largely comes down to the controls and a new mechanic known as phases. There are two phases to the game, the field phase and the duel phase. The field phase allows you to run around the whole arena without limitation, and the duel phase locks you into a more traditional fighting game style. These different modes have slightly different controls and available moves. Yes, I should talk about the moves. Well, you run around with the D-pad or the analog stick. Personally, I prefer the D-pad. You jump with B, block with R, and attack with X, Y, and A. In the field phase, Y attacks are ranged and X attacks are physical moves that home in on your enemy. In the duel phase, however, Y attacks are weak and X attacks are strong. A attacks, on the other hand, are attacks taken straight from the main series Pokemon games, and they don't change between phases. These Pokemon attacks, as they're called, can be standard attacks, counter attacks, or grabs, and there's a chuffing important distinction between them. Much like the starter Pokemon in the main series games, there's essentially a triangle or rock, paper, scissors structure for these moves. Attacks beat grabs, grabs beat counter attacks, and counter attacks beat attacks. It's pretty straightforward. But learning this is super duper important, as otherwise you're going to get thrown around like trainers in a washing machine. Every character also has a default grab and counter attack that you can activate by pressing Y and B or X and A respectively, and these are definitely worth remembering. Every fighter has their own drastically unique set of moves, as you may well have been able to tell from the video so far. This really helps to make every single character feel as fresh and as weighty as you'd expect. Actually, whilst we're on the subject, you may want to know that there aren't any rolling inputs, such as Ryu's Hadouken in Street Fighter. Every move requires a button press and sometimes a directional input, much like Super Smash Bros. This makes the controls really easy to get to grips with, and more importantly, you won't be forever struggling to get that input just right. In short, the controls are absolutely spot on. There's not yet been an instance where I tried to perform one move and ended up doing another, and we think that's largely thanks to the D-pad's precision. You can also call in various support Pokemon to help you out when things get tough, and to do this you just have to wait until your support gauge is filled. This just happens gradually over time, and once it's completely full, then you can unleash your chosen support Pokemon to give you a hand with a stat boost or even attack the opponent directly. These little chaps also boost your synergy gauge, which is something I really should have mentioned sooner, but the opportunity never presented itself. Synergy is really important, as once your gauge is full, you can activate Synergy Burst. This is a state where your Pokemon becomes not only stronger, but also more resilient to enemy attacks. But that really isn't the best thing about this. Once per burst, you can activate a Synergy Burst attack, which are special moves that are stupendously powerful and come with an appropriately ludicrous animation to go with it. These can still be blocked though, so don't go thinking it's a surefire hit. After reaching harder parts of the game, we can say that these definitely become a bit of a gamble, as if your opponent blocks it, they've usually got a massive opening with which they can toss you about the place like trainers in a washing machine. On a slightly more superficial note, it has to be said that this version doesn't look as good as it does in the arcade. Textures aren't as crisp and the resolution is a little bit fuzzy, but we think that it's all worth it, as the frame rate, which is capped at 60, is absolutely unshakable. I even scrubbed through a load of captured footage and couldn't find a single instance of a frame drop. That's how solid this baby is. The only time it dips is in local multiplayer, where it drops to an equally solid but half as silky 30 frames a second. It's a shame that this happens, but considering it's rendering two screens simultaneously, we can't say we're surprised. The fun doesn't just stop on your own machine though, ho crumbs no. As this is the modern era, you can take yourself online and battle against foes from all over the world. Unfortunately, we can't talk about that right now because of the simple reason at the moment the servers are outright just not working. When they do get fired up, we'll publish a follow-up video letting you know how it all works. All in all, Pokkén Tournament has every chance at really penetrating the competitive field. And if you're like me and you just like to beat up mythical monsters, it's a massive amount of fun just to prat around with as well. If you want a more in-depth look at Pokkén Tournament, then click that card up there or the link down there in the description, and you'll be able to read the full written preview that I went and made over on Nintendo Life. I'm really sorry that we couldn't get all of the information in this video. Unfortunately, we were just on a really tight schedule and we didn't have all the time in the world, and videos take a lot longer, as I'm sure you know. But anyway, don't worry, the video review is going to be as detailed as the written preview, so look forward to that. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you watch helplessly as that subscribe button gets battered around like trainers in a washing machine, and be sure to check out nintendolife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye bye. It's recording. Hello? Yeah, no, it's the end of the video. Yeah, no, I didn't really have any outtakes because there wasn't actually much of me in it. No, I'm sure they'll be fine with it. Well, they're here to see the game, they're not here to see me, are they? Well, no, no. No. Look, alright, yeah, no, I get it, okay, yeah? Yeah, it's a cheap gag to try and extend the length of the video, I know, but, you know... Yeah, no, yeah, people want something at the end, I think.